Craig Tollis, Ken Feinberg, some legends. Sitting right here in Myrtle Beach.
That's us.
It is you.
Yeah.
You created a beautiful movie,
Thank you so much.
Love and Taxes. And you've done a lot more, too.
I have. I started out as an actor. I was on like Star Trek and Buffy and Charmed. I played a lot of demons and bikers and convicts and aliens because I'm so big,
Right.
But I played Shakespeare on stage, so that didn't translate over into movie business for me. So after so many years of being that guy, I started making movies and training young people.
Are you classically trained Shakespearean?
I am, yes.
Wow, I did not know that. That's
I played a lot of characters on stage, leading man, romantic leading man, characters, all kinds of stuff.
Do you like in front of the camera or behind the camera better?
Now I like behind the camera because I was in rep theater in LA years ago, and I was acting, my acting career, and then I got hijacked to direct a play, and I never directed a play before, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. So when I started directing a play, I really liked it because I got to play all the roles. I started asking questions. I wasn't like a dictator telling people what to do. I was like asking questions and being creative. Like I'd be creative with the lighting people and say, I want to create a feeling of this. And I let them hang the lights and create the feeling. So if I said, put a Lico here and put a Fresnel there, they would go, well, what do you need me for? So I learned that lesson young that, it takes teamwork to make something work. You need a team. So when we get on the set, we're like working with Craig. Right. Craig and I have done 40 projects together now. So it's like, I'll let Craig do the editing because, I don't sit behind him and do this, but I do give him notes. We talk about the stuff. Yeah. But when I have someone on the team that's creative, I let them be creative. And in a minute, I want to introduce our costume designer, and we work together as a team to create the look of the costumes.
That's how we've been able to do. A lot of people have been asking us, like, how do you have a movie with two directors? And it's completely teamwork, and listening to each other, and working towards the best idea, like not fighting over what did I think of or what did Ken think of, but what's the best for the film.
It's like if something wasn't working for one of us, we'd talk about it and we figured out a way that it would work. What both of us could agree on.
Something that works for everybody.
And it always came out better for some reason.
Filmmaking's problem solving. On
Exactly.
the set, on the fly.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, right?
That's producing.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's always problems, and you just got to figure out how you're going to solve the problem and keep moving.
Back up in here, and the lights, and the cameras, the sound. And
yeah.
Of course, like in here, people don't realize, we can shoot a movie anywhere. This would be a nightmare. The sound?
Oh, yeah.
It would be a nightmare if we had to shoot a film in here.
Yeah.
You'd have to kill everything and make sure no one's in here. It's
turn the air conditioning off.
Yeah, everything. And let people sweat. You were in Atlanta. You're an LA guy?
No, I'm from Atlanta.
New York? Oh, you're from Atlanta
originally?
Born
and raised in Atlanta.
Well, then you were used to it.
Yeah.
But you'd went out west for a while, so
I was in LA for a long time.
And then you came back to film this in the summer, and it was brutally...
Late July.
Yeah. Did you have to turn the air conditioning off?
We did.
We had to turn the air conditioning off. And it got hot. And as soon as we cut, turn the air conditioning up. We tried our best to stay cool.
Right.
We had a makeup trailer, so people go out in the makeup trailer and cool down. We had air conditioning on there, so it was nice. It was, we did it.
Did you find a office building to utilize, or what? Was it on a studio site?
We looked high and low. We were this close to using an LED wall, but then it was too much for our budget, and we looked high and low for a location. I thought we might have to pull the plug on the whole movie. And at the 11th hour, just when we were about to pull the plug, we found the perfect place. It was a prop house where they have props, and it was 1970s looking with paneling, and nothing had changed. And so they said we could film there, and they had a warehouse full of 70s furniture and props. So it wasn't like I had to transport anything. So we made a deal with the prop warehouse that included the props.
The candy store of filmmaking. Anything we needed was in the next room, and hallways and hallways and hallways of just great stuff.
We got lucky.
And sometimes things fall into place like that.
Yeah.
And you got to use it. You got to utilize it.
And we had a couple of costume designers that we were working with. For some reason, they got busy or couldn't do it, and somehow we found Mara, who I'd like to introduce you to, our costume designer, and she had warehouses full of vintage 70s wardrobe, and it was like perfect. It was like It was like a godsend. We just
I think people on the outside don't realize how hard it is to come up with this 70s or 60s.
And phones and adding machines and calculators and
because that stuff's now what? Let's see, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, 50 years old.
Yeah.
I know.
And it's getting hard to come by and still look good.
I know.
And it has to look like it's new like we're in 1974, right? It can't look beat up and dusty and old. It
Right.
has to look like it's
And
new
if you
in
watch the movie, the production designer, Jacob Ortiz, he had like little different things on the desk. If you look at the first one's an adding machine with an arm, and then you've got this 70s calculator, then you've got this other newfangled 70s adding machine. So it kind of changes
Through
as
the years.
Through the years go by.
I noticed that. It came through, and it really added the feeling to the set of the changes, the subtle changes, and the wardrobe. It was spot on,
And that's
made
one
for
of-
the film.
One of the challenges of being in the same space for 104 minutes is we really want to change that up as much as we can so that something is different in every year.
Right. So in your filmmaking, how long have you both been in filmmaking? However, whether it's television, motion picture, whatever.
Well, I got a degree in filmmaking from the University of Georgia back in the 1980s. And I was an actor for a long time. Went to New York, then LA. And then I guess I started, really my first film was in 99, because I'd been acting in theater and directing theater. And then I made my first short film in 99. And then when I truly started making films was about 2009, when I was training young actors to work in movies. And I said, as part of their training, they have to be on a set. I can tell them how to swim, I can show them how to swim, but until they get in the pool, they don't know how to swim.
Right.
So I didn't just shoot it with a camcorder or something. I hired a professional DP and a crew and makeup, and I gave them the whole experience. They would come to set and they'd go through wardrobe, they'd go through makeup, they'd go through blocking, the whole thing, so that when they did book a real job, they'd know what to do and they have a professional attitude for them. So that's when it really started, was when I was making films for these young actors, many of whom have gone on to star in films. Like Storm Reed just won an Emmy a few months ago. She won a national Emmy, and I had a couple of students win SAG awards, and one of the students was in the Hunger Games movies, and so she got to walk the red carpet, and she was a professional on set because she had that experience, and that was a good experience for me as well.
Right.
I came from a tech background. I was like a computer and tech guy, and I went back to school. I went to an arts college to transition into this, and then I've been doing it like professionally since 2000.
Okay.
And it started in Atlanta.
That's 24 years now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It goes by quick. So
It does.
what is your favorite aspect of of what you do?
I mean, there's so many different elements to it, but when we're shooting, it's so fast-paced, and you have things coming at you all the time, and you're making quick decisions, and then you're seeing that immediately. You get immediate feedback on the decisions that you're making, the choices that you're making, and you see this thing come to life in front of you.
Right.
And I'm also the editor on this film, and that's the complete opposite of that. That's like months and months of watching the movie over and over, and how do we make this better, and how do we make that better, and do we have a different idea that we like better than the original idea? And
Editing's a long process.
It
Unless someone's done it, they have no idea the amount of time
that's
it
the
takes.
surprising thing on this film. So each scene is one shot.
Right.
So in theory, there are only like 7 edits in the
Right.
film. We
In
do have
theory.
one. We do
In
have
theory.
one trick edit that so far nobody has figured out where that is. We do have like one scene that's 2 takes mashed together.
Okay.
But there's just a lot of polishing that goes on,
Sure.
where a microphone wasn't good for a line, so we've found that line in a different take.
Or the acting wasn't good in a certain line, so we would pull a line of dialogue from another take.
Or there's a performance that you like better
Yeah,
in
with
a different
performance,
line. Or
right.
There's a couple of things that the dialogue needed to be replaced because there were sound issues, or the sound's very difficult because they're moving around constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one guy with a boom mic who is trying to follow both of them.
And sometimes
And-
they're very far away from the camera or from each other.
And they're far away from each other, yeah. And they have microphones hidden in their wardrobe, but you hear the clothing.
That's not
moving.
always usable.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of shifting.
So
I watched some behind the scenes footage from the making of the film, which adds some real depth to the film. I wasn't sure if you was to put this out theatrical if I wouldn't put a little bit of that at the end, not at the beginning, but at the end of the film, just to show maybe 30 or 40, 50 seconds or 60 seconds of it.
Put some of the time lapse in the credits.
While the credits are rolling.
Yeah.
Show what you.
The behind the scenes making of.
Because it's you took an impossible situation and made it look flawless.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You really did. Unless someone's shot a feature film before, they have no idea what you did.
A lot of people told us not to do this. When we went to people and wanted them to be involved in the film or wanted to hire people for the film, so a lot of people just told us, you can't do that, it's not going to work.
You're going to need at least 2 weeks, you're going to need 10 times the amount of money.
You're a lot more money.
Well, you're the type of people that change the industry. You realize that?
Well, and everybody who worked on this film had to believe in that too. I mean, particularly the actors, because it's their faces. They're the ones who look bad if we can't do it.
Right.
But and then
that never happened. It looked great.
And Angelica, who's the DP and the Steadicam operator.
Oh, she was fabulous.
I mean,
she was like, all right, I'm up for this.
My back hurt.
Oh,
when I watched the behind the scenes of her, I was like, oh God, like 18 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And she's not you or me, this big, strong. She's what, 5'4", 5'3", 5'5", maybe 100 pounds, and she's wearing a rig that's 50, 60, 70 pounds.
No, she came in. She was actually excited for this challenge because she is a Steadicam operator and a DP, and this was like the ultimate challenge for her. And she wanted this. She wanted this job, and she said, I want to use a camera that's going to be small because I have to use it, but I still want the 4K. And she wants to use vintage lenses from the 70s to give it that 70s look.
Yeah.
So she was like really thinking about what this film was going to look like. And I told her, I said, I don't want to spend time changing lights between scenes because I want the setting to be set because we got to go fast. I don't want to take that time in between. So she accommodated me by rigging the lighting above so we could use that in every scene without having to stop and change the lights.
And they're the latest technology in lighting. They're battery operated. They're controlled by an iPad. It's all very sophisticated. We need to give Angelica credit for the Vances, where Vance and Tony are. That was her idea for how we could do the flashbacks
behind the glass,
how we could do the flashbacks without breaking the continuity of the shot.
It worked.
And to see something different, right?
And it really created a creative aspect to the film, too.
Yeah, that was great. So
it's kind of like looking back in time for real, but you're there in person, but you're going back in time to tell the story because that glass created the TV screen or the screen to yesterday.
Yes.
You know, brilliant. I mean, the whole film is brilliant, really. And I thought it was a breakthrough piece for motion picture, the way you shot it. I really do.
Thank you.
And to have it come out that great. And it
did come out good. I was very pleased with the way it came out. It came out better than I thought it was going to come out. Originally, I wanted to do this film to honor Lloyd Schwartz, who'd been a mentor for me for a long time and a great friend and a supporter. And we've done some stuff together. And he was like, I have this script I think you'd be good with. And, he held that script for me for a long time, like at least 10 years, maybe longer. It's like, and when finally I said, I got to make this film now because the strike was coming and I didn't have anything going on. And I said, all right, we're going to make this film. And Lloyd said, I'm glad you decided to make this film because I was going to do it next year if you didn't. So, and I think Lloyd was pleased. I wanted to honor Lloyd by making the good film. And I think he envisioned it all in one room because he wrote it. And then he was surprised, where are you going? Like the camera's going down the hall and you got the flashbacks. He was like, I would have never thought of that,
Well, it worked. It really did. And we appreciate you bringing it here. We appreciate being able to have the world premiere of it. It means a lot. And to be able to show it, and hopefully it represented fine on that big screen. And we appreciate all the work that you all put into it, and hopefully get to see a lot more from you and the team.
All right, knock on wood.
Thank you. Yeah,
maybe we'll be back next year with a new film.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, you're alumni now, so you no longer have to go through traditional means. And it's always a waiver for life after that.
Oh, great.
Yes, so...
We're a legacy.
You are a legacy now. You're part of the family.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.